Hello, good people. What's going on? Just a quick note before the podcast starts. The first 2 minutes of it has a little scuffed audio, but I still kept it in. So if you can bear with it for 2 minutes, it gets better. I promise. Okay? Good wishes. Bye bye. Hello, good people of this podcast. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful time. And if you're wondering why I called you guys good people of this podcast, good listeners of this podcast, well, what was I supposed to say? Bad people of this podcast? The scum listeners of this podcast? No, can't do that. Can't do that. I'm not gonna hit on the hand that feeds me, even though I have like 8 listeners. Still, we're gonna take good care of you. We're going to butter you up endlessly. That's what's going to happen. Alright, so I haven't uploaded any episode in the last, I don't know, like 15 years, but still, this is the first one. This is the comeback, if you will. If you're going to ask me like, oh, what happened? Why you haven't uploaded? I recorded one more podcast, and in the podcast, I had a race joke. Keep in mind, not a racist joke. It was a race joke. Still, I was wondering, should I cut this? Should I, leave it in? What am I supposed to do with this joke? Is it going to bring me heat? Then I was so indecisive that I just let it sit for a while. As you guys say, I slept on it, but I not only slept on it for one day, I slept on it for 8 days, and now I don't even know where even the sound file is. So we're going to pick it up right now. What happened today? Sorry, before we even go, what happened today? What day is today is the question we should be asking. Let me quickly check that out. It is 16th of, I'm not good with months. Sorry, let me think it on my head. 16th of December 2023. Yeah, I can talk about politics, I can talk about global warming, climate change, each and every one of those, but sadly I'm very bad with the months of the year, and I'm very bad with the days of the week. Like when I was learning English in school, the first 2 or 3 years, I had paid zero attention to it. Like the most basic things, I don't have any information about them. But after I, started to pay a little interest, you don't pay interest. What do you do? I started to pay a little attention. I quickly picked up on it, but I still have the very basic things lacking. Okay, so we said 16th of December. What happened on 16th of December for me? Okay, we're talking about me, all right? Well, I would like to talk about you too, but I can't do that, can I? If you're going to email me about your day, I can try to do something with it, but like at this given stage, I can't do that. So, woke up, I had a sleepover in my friend's house, and when I woke up, my friend was like, "Oh, do you want to have breakfast?" And I said, "No, I don't want to have a breakfast because I'm gonna go home and record a podcast and edit it, and editing it like takes 3-4 hours, and I wanted to start doing it today, and I finished doing it today, and then upload it today, because when I postpone it just even a little bit, it gets sent like 2-3 weeks later. So I said, all right, I'm going to do it today. I came home, all right, didn't do it. I just didn't, because I postponed it. But there are two kinds of procrastination, if you will. The first one is the more, how do you say, it's the better one of the two. For example, you go home, you need to do something, but you say, oh, instead of doing something, instead of doing the thing that I need to do, all right, I'm gonna do other things that are also important, but doesn't have the priority. For example, you go around and you clean your room, you do the dishes, but I didn't do that either, so I just laid at home watching YouTube like for hours on end. Now it's 6 p.m. It's 6:15, and I just started doing it. It's a mess. It's a mess. My life is a mess, but I'm trying to get it better, okay? That is what counts. I don't know. All right, so I decided to, get my things together, get my things in order, if you will. And the first part of doing it is whenever you see a problem, you intervene, okay? You don't say, okay, it's not, bothering me. It's not preventing me from doing stuff, so I'm just gonna let it sit. You say, no, I see a problem, I do something about it. In the apartment complex that I live in, there's a light bulb that doesn't work. But like, I catched it on the first day. So as I said, okay, see something, do something. And I go get a chair, get a new light bulb, climb on the chair, open the light bulb container, change the light bulb. I'm doing my best to get my life in order, okay? Everything, literally everything, depended on this light bulb for me. Because as I said, once you start postponing stuff, it continues. Good stuff brings more good stuff with them, bad stuff brings more bad stuff with them. You know how it is. You wake up early, you have a healthy breakfast, you brush your teeth. You're happy. You have the energy to do whatever you are intended to do. But you wake up late, you have a shit breakfast, you don't brush your teeth, you lay around for 2 hours, then you realize it's the end of the day. What else can you do? You say, like, I can't do anything. I'm gonna go sit, watch some TV. I'm gonna go sit, play some video games. All right? So, going back, change the light bulb, put the container back on, pressed the switch that was going to open the lights on the apartment complex. It works. I'm so happy, okay? I have accomplished it. Not even 10 seconds later, it goes away. And I lose it. This was like 2 months ago. I still haven't changed it. Bro, I've tried my best, okay? I tried to get my stuff in order. It didn't work. It is what it is at this point. It is what it is. All right, what else happened today? Yeah, while I was binge watching, or doom watching, I guess is a better term, because I just sit and watch stuff aimlessly. I ran into a video of a guy. I don't know the guy's name right now, but I'm going to mention it for a while, so I might put his name or the video itself. If you're going to watch it on YouTube, I'm going to post a picture of it. If you're going to watch it on Spotify, you can see it. Like, one would assume you can see it. I don't know if Spotify has added any video option to it. I would assume not. All right. So they leave this guy in Europe, and he's an American guy. Okay, he's, I would say, younger than me, around early 20s. I'm in the middle of my 20s, but still early 20s, younger than me. Premise of the video is he will start with only a penny, and in 7 days tries to go back to America. That's the premise of the video. So what he does is basically he starts in France, but the flights from France to America is very expensive. So he tries to make some money, tries to sell water, draws portraits of other people, tries to make as much money as he can so he can move to another country still within Europe, but it's a little cheaper. So he takes a he takes a train ticket, goes to another country. In that other country, washes and cleans other people's or other shops windows, tries to make money, works so hard. And I didn't finish it. It was like 40 minutes, for God's sake. Even though I was aimlessly watching stuff, I still have a attention span of a child. So I didn't finish it, but one would assume that at the end he finished his journey, or otherwise he wouldn't be uploading it to the YouTube. While watching it, it was a unique experience because it made me feel very privileged and very underprivileged at the same time. It doesn't happen very often, or at least it didn't happen for me before. Like, ever. What made me feel very privileged was that he was trying his damn hardest to make very little amounts of money, all right? Selling water in the touristic attraction spots, it makes sense. But if I didn't have to do it in any situation, I probably wouldn't do it. First, I don't have it in me. I would say, like, if you're in a desperate situation, of course you're going to do whatever it takes, but like, I don't have it in me. It's not a situation I would like to be in. The cleaning people's windows is also another situation I wouldn't want to be in. But what made me feel very underprivileged is that he goes, okay, we have, enough money to buy a bus ticket. We're going to another country, and then goes to, I don't know, England. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here in Turkey, like, I can't imagine working for a day and getting enough money to move to another country. Nor can I imagine working for a month to gather enough money to go for another country. Like, maybe in a month I could do it. But the visa is a whole different problem. The passport, not the price, the value of the passport that you're holding is a whole different, topic by itself. So it made me feel very underprivileged and very privilege at the same time. He also, most of the meals he ate was from McDonald's, which drove me nuts. You know, maybe it was a comfort thing. He was like, oh, I'm an American guy. I'm in Europe, but still, I have McDonald's. Yeah, same tastes. Maybe like it was something that he trusted, or maybe it was the cheapest option. I don't know. Could be both. But like going to a different cultural place and not eating the food that they have didn't sit well with me. And I am a person who hates traveling, okay? I hate traveling. I don't like to. Like, if somebody were to tell me, oh, like, let's go to France with 50% discount, I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I wouldn't say, yuppie, I would say, okay, I guess. Because, like, for me, it's not mostly about where I am, it's mostly about what I do. And, like, the heck am I supposed to do in Paris? Like, oh, let's go, you know, I'm a musician, let's go do music in Paris. Heck yeah. I mean, I'm down to do music in Egypt as well. It's not about the country. Like, if I'm going to do stuff that I already enjoy in a different place, that's the best thing. That's fantastic. But like traveling, going and seeing stuff, I don't know, it doesn't interest me. All right, what else? What else? I also went to a dry cleaner today. I think that's what you call dry cleaner. So I had this pair of pants, which I very like. I only have two black pair of pants. So you use one, you clean it, you wash it while it's getting dried, you use the other one. But one of them was in a really bad condition. And what I mean by a bad condition is that its color kind of faded away. I had this one dry cleaner guy, and I go to him and I bring the pants with me. And I say, like, can we take care of this? Because this is, very important. You may ask why a pair of pants is very important for you, which is a reasonable question that you may ask. I got it tailored for me, not tailored. I get it tailor-made, I think is the better thing to say, because whenever you buy something kind of on the cheap side, like within 1 or 2 years, it just fades away, it just crumbles and turns into dust. But I still wear the jackets that my grandfather owned. So, I thought to myself, get some very good quality clothing and use them for a very long time. But when its color faded away, I was very devastated. Just run off to the dry cleaner. What I love, okay, is that when there are people that are very knowledgeable about their stuff, I just love it. I just can't have it enough. So I bring my pants. They go, oh, these are sunburns. If they, for a long period of time, this tends to happen, like, I'm already impressed. And I don't have to be impressed by this guy because I have known this guy my whole life, basically. Very near my primary school, we have this neighborhood that is full of donor shops. And this was the owner of my favorite donor shop. Then I guess he wanted less competition, so he turned his, shop into a dry cleaner, which I feel bad and good at the same time. I feel bad because it was my favorite donor shop. I feel good because I still have donor shops there, but now I know a trustable dry cleaner. Anyways, he goes, oh, there's a stain here. Do you, load your clothes washer? It's not called clothes washer. What is it called? Not dishwasher. Clothes washer? Clothes machine? Washing machine. Sorry. He goes, do you fully load your clothing? Not clothing machine. Come on. All right. Do you fully load your washing machine? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, I know. Because if you fully load it, like when it turns, it can't rinse the detergent very effectively. So what tends to happen is you have little pieces of detergent that is stuck on the clothes, in this case your pants, and since they don't get rinsed in a good way, they leave stains. Also, turn your clothes inside out while you're going to wash them, so if you still get a stain, it's on the inside. So I go, my mind is blown. I can sit and listen to people who are experts in their domain, like for hours. Like, not only I can do it, I do it. Whenever I see a video on YouTube and I click on it and it's a guy that is very knowledgeable, it can be a girl too, sorry. When it's a person who is very knowledgeable, I don't really care about what the topic is. Like, I watch video essays endlessly. about art. I don't like art. Like about, music. I like music, but then about video games that I have never played, about countries that I've never been to and I don't plan to go to. Like I just watch people who are experts of domain, let's say. And not if you know somebody who is an expert and who talks and does essays and explains stuff, you can go on, send it on my way, and I can, give it a look. And I can talk about it even. All right. Did I do anything else today? Yes. While I was turning back, so our neighborhood is full of cats. We have lots of cat lovers in the neighborhood. Like, if you're a Turkish person or if you, reside in Turkey, you know it already. But I would assume you still know it if you, like, know only one thing about Turkey. That's probably Turkish people love cats. They love cats. They're crazy about cats. So we have 18, 25 cats in the neighborhood. And one of them was sitting face down to the concrete. Like most of the time when cats sit down, they kind of use their paws as a pillow or they, lay on their side and they tend to find a comfortable position, but like this cat just had its face plummeted on the concrete. So I was like, oh. And this was also a familiar cat that I, once or twice a week I pet. So I go, oh, is this cat okay? So I go, pss, pss, pss. Turns out it was just sleeping. The cat kind of wakes up, yawns a little, comes towards me. And at that time, I had no intention of petting the cat. I just wanted to make sure it was, safe and sound. But, I woke up the cat. So if you woke up the cat, you either have to feed it or pet it. So you're not a douchebag, let's say. So I pet the cat for 5 to 10 minutes. I let it inside the apartment, It's cold out here, so it can have a, kind of warm environment that it can sleep in. Yeah, that's basically what happened today. All right, I've written so much stuff to talk about, today. But the recorder says that I'm already 20 minutes in and I'm not gonna do an hour of podcast, so I'm going to eliminate some of the points that I will, talk about. And let's see, what will we talk about? All right, so I just started to drive regularly. I didn't have the chance, I didn't have the honor of doing it before because, cars are heckin' expensive. So the company that I work in provides us with a car. So whenever we need to go someplace, you just kind of use it. So now I have a whole range of new problems because I started to drive. And, cars have headlights and headlights have kind of like two options that you can use. One of them kind of points to the ground and shows what is close to you. And then the other option is headlights kind of point towards the road, a little more up, not to the ground, and it shows a lot further than the previous one. But the problem is, if you have somebody that is in front of you and your headlights are pointing up, all the lights, all the strong light, because keep in mind, these lights are supposed to show you like what's going on very further down the road, so they're very strong. And if you have somebody in front of you driving also, this very strong amount of light is going to reflect on the rear mirror, and it's going to blind them basically. And it's been happening to me a lot. All right? Is this a problem in your country? Is this a problem where you live? Please let me know. But I get very annoyed because, surprise, surprise, I like the ability to see, especially if I'm driving. So I have the best idea for a YouTube video, okay? I can't do it. I don't have the capital that is needed for it. But if you want to do it, we can arrange something. So here's the video. You basically modify a car that like you are going to use on the road. So if somebody points their headlights up and you get blinded by it, you find this special button in your car. As we said, it's modified, so you put the button in your car. So you click the button and the back of your car lights up and it says, "Close your headlights, you fat piece of shit. I can't see anything." And then the video can be, half of it, building the system and half of it is using on the road, pressing the button, the lights flash up. "You fucking piece of shit, please close your headlights." And then you can also record the reactions of the people, like maybe the driver behind you or the other people that's seeing the neon lights flashing. I think it can bring a lot of, eyes. And, eyes are good. Yeah. So, what else? Since the holiday season is coming up. What is the holiday season? I don't know. But, I tend to read some stuff on the internet and it says holiday stuff is coming up. And there are people who's dressed as Santa doing extreme stuff. What are these extreme stuff? They go on the mountain, they do skiing in a Santa outfit, which I would say is fitting, If the reindeers are sick that particular day, or, maybe you got divorced, not you, maybe the Santa got divorced with Miss Santa, like Mrs., but now Miss Santa, and they took the deers with them. Like, you have to ski. Makes sense. Little funny gag. What else do they do in the Santa outfits? They do rock climbing in Santa outfits, which is interesting because when I see rock climbing, it's mostly on the very dry mountainsides, and seeing somebody with the Santa outfit, which like one would assume is very thick and also, very warm, interesting and a little fun. But it also reminded me about the Turkish news that I saw a few years ago. Not few years, maybe 10 years ago. I was basically a child when it happened. Again, around these times of the year, or maybe like towards the very end of the year, the camera crews of the news outlets was walking around basically with a microphone and going, "Hey, what are you going to do this New Year? Are you going to celebrate New Year?" And still there are two types of people in Turkey that are like, "Yeah, I'm going to celebrate Christmas. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate New Year. Why not should I celebrate New Year?" And the second type of people are, "Hell nah, I'm not going to celebrate New Year. It's a tradition from other cultures." And you can't help but wonder, how is New Year a tradition from another culture? Like, dressing up as Santa can be, other cultural, if you want to put it that way. If you are against happiness, if you're against happiness, okay, you can put it that way. Can I say something? I love the traditions where there's costumes involved, okay? Not because it's very good, but it's like people try to find a way to celebrate stuff and be happy. And God forbid you do one Halloween party here in Turkey, they go up in arms, they grab the pitchforks, they say, "Oh, this is not in our culture," you piss off. Who cares about your culture? Have more holidays then, have more fun holidays. We have fun holidays that you jump that you jump on top of a fireplace. Not fireplace. Let me rephrase that. You set up a big bonfire and you jump from one side of it to the other side of it. Which is exciting, I get that, but like, how are you supposed to express yourself? If that makes sense. Because like, once you do it, like, you've done it, you're going to do the exact same thing. But like, do Halloween, you can be 15 different things until you hit a certain age. Then it's not very fun or funny to be in a costume, and people are, they see you and they say, "Oh, is he okay?" Like, he's in his 30s, he's still dressing up. Like, you can't do it. All right, coming back. So 1 or 2 years of these debates happening on the news outlets, some people say I'm going to celebrate New Year. Some people say I'm not going to celebrate New Year. And towards the very end of the year, there's this one news. So they're interviewing a guy, if I recall, in the rooftop. He goes, yeah, I'm going to... How do I make a redneck accent? Yeah, I'm going to stay here on the roof of my house with a shotgun. And if the Santa Claus comes, I'm going to shoot him dead. I'm going to shoot him dead, he says. Now, being against American culture in such an American way is an irony that I can't help but love, okay? So, just like a redneck, he says, this is my property. He goes, yeah, I'm going to wait here for Santa Claus with my shotgun, and if he comes, I'm going to shoot him dead. Couple points, if he comes and you're going to wait in your rooftop, so one would assume like he's going to come with magical reindeers. If he's going to come with magical reindeers, what makes you think that he's going to be affected by your bullets? And forget that, even before that, if somebody flies down to your rooftop, are you going to shoot that guy? You might be literally shooting the prophet. I don't know. And okay, you're going to wait on your rooftop. Not the reindeers, okay? Let's say he doesn't come with the reindeers. To the rooftop, he can come. So we said he's not magical, not reindeers. He can come, but how else can he come to a rooftop? He can maybe jump from a plane with a parachute. So 2 points. If he jumps with a parachute from a plane, he can only come to your house, then has to hop on the other rooftop, so it doesn't make sense. He probably wouldn't do it. But if he does, he's doing some commando stuff at this point. If you have a shotgun waiting for him, he has a shotgun waiting for you. So it was an interesting time, to say the least. All right, before we end, I had lots of things that was prepared for today, but let's forget about them. One last thing. I started to watch news, Turkish news these days. I don't know why. It tends to take my happiness away, but I, started to do it nonetheless. And so there was this news that goes, because, I wasn't watching, I was listening to it while doing other stuff. And the news guy says, now we have a news about a lawyer. I go, okay, tell me about the lawyer. What he basically says is that a lawyer goes to the private room of the judge. And then, as he said, I'm saying as he said because today I looked it up to talk about it, and to me, this story is a little exaggerated. But as he says, a lawyer goes to the judge's office, and while the judge is not present, she is also dressed in a very sensual way, a very sexual way, if you will. And they say she basically wore panties with a jacket on. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, tell me more about it. I was already interested, but now I'm intrigued. Okay, who is this lawyer? And then she took a photo, they said, and when they shared this photo on the social media, they shared it with the caption that goes, I never lose a case. Which has lots of sexual innuendos when I heard about it. So I kind of took a note of it, and I, said to myself, okay, before I do the podcast, I'm going to look into it and, talk about it, because I used to talk about lots of TV news or fun news from all around the world. It's only fair if I also talk about Turkish news. So I looked into it. It's very, very exaggerated. First of all, the girl is dressed not modestly, I can accept that, but not in a, sultry way, if you will. And the caption is, I never lose. It's I never lose, I either win or I learn. Which makes sense. I'm not here, as a simp, like the new kids say. I'm not going to guard a girl just because she's a girl, but as I said, it's just a post, and I'm not saying it's not important. It's as normal as any other posts on the internet. It's just a person that sits, has like a 2 inch of his skin showing, which is today's standards, very reasonable, one would say, and just has a quote that goes, I never win either. I I said I never win. Okay, that means that's the time for today, okay? I can't even choose my words, but you get the point. You get the point. So, yeah, thanks for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.